Hey everyone, happy Saturday to you. Hope you're having a great day. I'm 20 of my 365-day journey to making sure that we really enjoy our dogs, and we really want to keep them and never send them off to a rescue or a shelter. Okay, now I do a lot of reading. I'm always reading about animal behavior, training guides, training tips, always wanting to see what's being put out by my colleagues and anyone else out there in the world. I'm an avid reader. In fact, I think I was talking to Kier just the other day, and I think it's been over a decade since I read a fiction book. So I'm one of these guys that's into neuroscience, biology, you name it. Well, I happened to come across a little bit of an article that talked about attention, motivation, and cognition in dogs. Fortunately, in this article, it was not absolutely correct. And that's part of my job here, is that lowering the stress for you guys is to make sure that I point out accurately anytime someone uses certain terms when it's applied to dog training. And this just happened to fall right in lines because this whole last week I've been spending time trying to teach you the natural behaviors that our dogs have. What nature intended for them. How does she want them to learn? You know, it wasn't in the grand design to have dogs actually live with us human beings. And they're still trying to adapt to living with us. And it's just moving along really slowly, just like things do in Welcome to the Hourglass of Time. The amount of time it's been since dogs were wolves and now living with us has probably been only one granule of sand. So things move slow in evolutionary time. That little time clock, no man, it's really slow. But let me kind of just point out the way I've always looked at things, because anytime I embark upon training a dog, or a person even for that matter, I offer attention, motivation, and this was whatever you use, like a ball or a treat. Bingo, I think that's fine. As a matter of fact, I have a slice of cheese in my back pocket. As soon as Captain discovered, oh, there we go. So I got to reward him with a little piece of cheese here. Oh my gosh, there is something, by the way. There are two other things that he loves a lot more than cheese. And number one, by far, is popcorn. Now, again, a lot of people are going, my gosh, Bryan, you feed your dog human foods? Yeah, I do. I'm guilty. The other day, I actually shared a French fry with him. Remember, you're supposed to lower my blood pressure, not raise it? Well, welcome to dog ownership. Captain and I have a lot of fun together. Okay, correct in the article. But motivation, the term that was thrown out there under motivation was methodology. Methodology. Oh boy, that's a really deep rabbit hole that we're not going to travel too far down today. I'm going to make this video short. It's Saturday. I know you guys want other activities to do, so I just want to kind of power through this. And the other one was smart. Except me, I've owned a few that I guarantee were not smart. They were not the sharpest tool in the shed. But let me kind of just put it to you the way nature intended. Attention for an animal comes out in the form of an intelligent animal. They use free exploration and curiosity to learn. That is seeking out anything and everything that I need to learn that will help me survive. For that, they were given what's called biologically prepared learning, meaning my brain is a sponge, soaks up to survive. In other words, needs over wants. Dogs are always curious, always exploring, always trying to find those things that it needs to learn. So yes, they can be an intelligent animal, but cognition from nature's standpoint is all about survival. Motivation. So hence you see all my little arrows being drawn up here. By now, I'm a real visual person. Motivation for an animal, again, is acquiring whatever I need to survive. To an animal. Many times before, and I'll mention it many times coming up. Why? Nature doesn't want you to just grow up and die and be by yourself. Wow, that's not how you perpetuate a species. So you want a mate. And then after you get a mate, you need a safe dwelling place to raise your offspring. And we should give our children our territory, kind of as our house. You're not going to leave your young child, your 1-year-old, out in your front yard unsupervised. At least I hope you won't. Neither is a wolf going to do that, and neither are any sort of free-ranging dogs. They're going to stay real close to their offspring, and they're going to make sure they got enough room to keep them away from alien wolves who would use the opportunity to attack those cubs and kill it because A, I gain a meal, and I just eliminated a competitor. So again, as I put out earlier this week, distance is safety. So they want kind of like a free fire zone. Make sure you don't get close to my offspring. So these are the most important things for what units. I need food, I need mate, I need a territory. But again, even though your dog is no longer wild, these are still driven inside of your animal. They're still there, and we always must pay attention to those. Now, is killed quickly by fixation on food. In other words, our constant use of food in training. You'll see me use food, and you have seen me use food. You'll also see me sometimes not use food. And I'm going to talk to you later on in other videos about why we don't always use food. Because sometimes my good old learning gets stymied by the fact that all I can focus on is the food. Do you have food? Do you food? Forget about the sit. The heel thing? No. Where's the food? I could have sworn I saw the food hanging off that treat pouch you had over there on the other side. I know you've all seen it. You've seen it with a ball. Crazy. And you're going, why did I even bother to pull this ball out? Because now the dog won't perform for me. So again, sometimes we kill this free exploration and curiosity. We kill it. We even kill this over focusing too much on food. So now, what wild animal to learn? Well, motivation is going to come again in acquiring whatever I need to survive. That way, they will encounter things that will hurt them. It's the absolute truth. Things that can actually injure them. Things that can make them uncomfortable. What part of it? So anytime your dog learns anything, there will be cost involved. We just kind of, fortunately as humans with our dogs, we can limit what those costs are. But we shouldn't take them out of our equation. We shouldn't sit there and discount them. No. And then there's benefits. Yeah. Right here. For your dog, the benefit can also be that treat. It can be that ball. It can be that pet. You can go for a walk. Benefits come without a cost. And nature put that there because why these are actually needed. Cost and benefits reinforce the cost. In other words, with humans. What's the old saying? What doesn't kill us makes us stronger. Nothing worth owning didn't require a little bit of sweat equity. I mean, gosh, we can keep this up all day long. Increase the survival capability of the individual. And that individual's fitness is always at the forefront of your dog's brain. Their fitness, numero uno. It helps me become stronger, helps me to survive when I encounter even greater hardships. And then also, I learn how to make a mistake successfully. And greater cost is one of the jobs of smaller cost. So what that as I move along through this thing, not today, I'm going to cover this in future videos. Professionals agree on anything. And they will sit there and say, all of your training should have nothing but with it. In other words, all power, force free, what have you. And then others say, well, approached. And then some say, well, more tomorrow about training methodologies and really kind of get into that a little bit deeper here. But just from a natural standpoint, life on the planet Earth will require contact with a cost. And then if you endure the cost, there will be a benefit. Just from the simple equation, the wolf that runs through deep snow and expends 90% of its remaining energy to finally catch an elk achieves a great benefit. And on the other side, if the elk can get away from the wolf, it achieved a great benefit, but at a cost. So anytime we move forward in training is I talk about how we are going to promote a desired behavior, how we're going to make an undesired behavior go away. Both of these, because this is what nature does. I even wrote a blog on it, Life, the Master Teacher. She is. And if you've been on the planet long enough, you kind of get it. And why we tend to believe that dogs should be exempt from this rule when nature would not exempt a wild dog, nature would not exempt a free-ranging dog or a feral dog, and dogs don't exempt one another, and they don't exempt us. It's got to be better. Anything that can be used to gain your dog's attention is wonderful. Absolutely. As long as that doesn't become the fixation. Because I now need you to learn something. And we also have to take into account is the dog what it is we're trying to teach. We're humans. And we have to keep that in our heads. And that's why I've been preaching to you all week long. It's a dog first. Make sure the dog can learn at its level, not at your human level. Its level. And then again, the motivation, yeah, that's for my wife. But as part of motivating our dog, for example, to come to me when I call you, I may have to apply a cost. Because the dog may say, you know, chasing the squirrel moment, they're returning to you for that slice of cheese. So there's just some adaptations that have to occur in the human world. And then besides that, if you're one of these people who just does not want to apply a cost to their dog, you believe in that, oh boy, I've got some videos coming up for you. But I just want to show you about how life is the master teacher. Now I'm going to reach back. This is a video, so I'm going to tell you a little bit about it because there's really no sound in this video until the very end. But we have a wonderful client and a very dear friend, and the dog in this video is extremely well trained. But as life has it, you cannot always think of everything. Because remember, I'm a dog. I'm curious. I'm going to explore. And sometimes when I explore looking for food, I get a little bit of it's just that's the way it works. Well, unfortunately, the effect on this caused our dog to burn his paw and caused our dog's owners to burn down. So, remote security camera while the owner is away and his dog curiously searching around the kitchen looking for something to eat. So let's go ahead and home in on this now. I'm going to kind of blow it up. Okay, so it's in black and white as you can see here. And right here is the dog. And this is a stove. And on top of the stove happens to be a little wooden Lazy Susan with food on it. Again, remember, I'm curious. I'm exploring. I need to learn whatever it is I need to survive. Remember, I'm a dog. There's no guarantee that my owner is going to feed me for the rest of my life. My brain doesn't get that. Human brains do. So the dogs do acting extremely naturally, and now watch what happens. So the dog trying to reach the food, and he goes, my paw just got burned, and now I'm afraid. And you see the fire on the stove growing. Now I'm going to kind of move forward here with this a little bit. Hold on one second here. There we go. I'm going to fast forward. Now look at the flames starting to rise. More. And In a second here, you can hear the alarm starting to go off. Right about is actually trying to catch up on itself. And now, blazing fire. Hear the alarm go off. And then, at this point here, the camera shuts off because of the smoke and the heat that's in the kitchen. If the training had been completed all the way, had there been a cost applied for getting on the stove, meaning if that had been part of the training, hey, you put your paw, my stove is going to give you a cost. Yeah, there's something that could happen. And there's many ways to apply that and apply it in a way that's not associated with you as the owner, because that would be the undesired consequence of this. Because then the dog would simply learn, hey, just don't get on the stove. Whenever my owner leaves the house, I can get all over the stove. So we'll talk about more about that later, about how we have the dog, what we do what's called intended pairing. Intended pairing. But had this dog been subjected to a cost previously for getting on the counters, because I guarantee you that is not the first time that that dog ever got on that stove. I guarantee it's not the first time he hopped up on the counters seeking, using his curiosity and his free exploration, because he's a very intelligent animal, to learn what he needed to survive and to obtain the food. I guarantee you that was not the first time. So had we thought about we've been properly motivated. Again, nothing against my client, because no one can think of every darn thing. He's a busy guy, well trained, but just wasn't trained for the stove. And here we go. Boom, boom. Now, the dog was not injured beyond his little paw getting burned. The dog was rescued, so the dog was not harmed in any sort of way. Can't say so much for the house. And currently right now, the owner is still residing in a hotel waiting for his house to be rebuilt. Okay, guys. Now I'm going to get a little bit deeper in this whole motivation thing here, just a little bit deeper. Show you a couple little demonstrations with Captain, and then we'll be ready. Finally on Monday, I'm going to wrap up this whole long week of chalk talk and trying to teach you all these natural behaviors from your dog's perspective, so that you kind of get it when I start going over future videos and start to explain my answers to a lot of your questions. Okay, guys, if you found this thing helpful, share it. And some of you are doing a great job. Others of you need to pick up the pace. But I've got Europe now, so I really appreciate it. Great questions coming in. We're about to launch on those. I just got 2 more videos to go over with you, and then we are on our way. Enjoy the rest of your Saturday, and I'll check you guys out for a short video tomorrow. Have a great one.